Hello.
Hey.
Hello.
So, welcome to Dragon Memoria. For those of you who might be new to the channel, well, it is a pleasure to have you with us. For those returning, welcome back. It is a pleasure to have you with us again. And for those wondering what this channel is, well, it's a channel about a group of people playing Dungeons and Dragons, and everyone here has been found on D&D Beyond. So if you ever wondered if you could find a group there, well, you have part of the answer. It is possible.
Yes.
Amazing. All right. So, did anyone check to make sure that there is sound on Twitch?
One sec, I will right now.
All right, that's good.
Yes, there's sound.
Good. All right. So, last episode, the party finally managed to, well, mend the bridges. In most part, because they were sensitive, caring of one another, with a certain amount of alcohol, and the promise of future romance for almost everyone. So, I'm sure that had absolutely nothing to do with the group becoming united again. I am sure it is because everyone was so eloquent in their excuses. So, they all managed to avoid killing one another. They shared a good meal, made a toast. One of the party members found a new friend, which he will undoubtedly be tracking and making all he can to catch up with her. A friend which appeared to be a monk of the same monastic tradition as Tobiyashi. After receiving a warning that the cult which the group has been finding on its path ever since they started might start hunting for them, they decided that they'd spend enough time in the city of Sutian and decided to leave. A bit because there was only about 3 weeks remaining till the gathering begins. 20 days to be exact. The last of the 20 days, the 21st day, being the day of the solstice of light, where everyone has to be in the same place. Because of information that Trevor managed to acquire, they know that they will need about half that time to get there, even by going a little bit slowly with a lot of prudence. They will still have at least a spare week when they get there, so they can afford to be looking for a bit of trouble on their way, which is most likely what they will do, even though they've been warned to keep this to a minimum. So, last episode, when we left, everyone has just recovered from a long rest. And actually, audience, I don't know if you read what I wrote
I did.
in the chat.
I did. I made the roll. I did not get anything from it, so I'm still at 21 out of 24.
All right. So this relates to a bit of modification that I made to the healing rules regarding long and short rest. So everyone rested. Apparently, audience had a bit of a troubled night. Probably kept tossing and turning and spending the rest of the night thinking about catching up to his new flame. Now, morning has come, and the group has went on to get approval to preach inside of the city of Soutien. Unfortunately, they will not be staying. But the audience did think about warning his little group of followers. Make sure they don't find an unfortunate end at the harmful spells of the cult of the hunter. Tobiyashi also found itself the proud owner of the integral and complete, on that size I can't really call it a handbook, we'll call it phone book, of rule regarding the right to worship in the city of Soutien. A very long and arduous read, which you will undoubtedly try to do while walking, for a book roughly 6-inch thick, which with Bible paper thin page, written by a gnome.
It's the thin paper. I'm gonna say, I guess it's probably about the size of a spell book. So,
yeah, except that paper is your
thicker,
spell book. Yeah, it most likely is. And so when we left, everyone was getting ready to leave. They were on their way to the main gate, and this is where we pick up. Valtteri, audience, Tobiyashi, and Trevor. What do you do? You are presently merrily walking down the street toward the gate of the city.
yeah. Toby and audience were leading, and me and Val were about 25, 30 feet behind, discussing what we're going to do about this stone. Nobody wants to start? Okay, I will. So I guess he'll continue his discussion with Val. So what do you think? I mean, we still got a ways before we get there, so I guess I can just feel them out a little more and see. I want to tell them, but I don't at the same time. So I don't know.
Yeah, again, as I said before, if we would tell them, we would trust them more with this, but then they might also get into trouble with this for something they haven't done anything bad for, so...
Yeah. Or just simply turn me in, and who knows what they do to me, or kick me out of the group, or what? I don't know.
I would say let's just see how it will turn out.
Yeah. See if this, unity, continues. All right, sounds like a plan.
Tobiyashi and audience, you noticed that for a few minutes, Valtteri and Trevor slowly started to, move away from the group. Not very far, mind you, just 20-25 feet away. But still, they obviously wanted to have a little bit of privacy.
Just keep walking.
All right.
Really matter.
I still don't fully trust Trevor, so I'm just gonna, as they wander away, I'm just gonna roll an insight check.
All right, to determine what?
I'm okay with Trevor now, but don't fully trust him.
That's all right. So,
All right, I rolled an 11.
What did you want to insight?
Oh, just whether they were kind of trying to whether, like, because I saw them talking, whether they were either mocking me or trying to hide something from me.
Well, you did notice that maybe 2 or 3 times during their small conversation, they did look at you and Tobiashi with a little bit of suspicion in their eyes. But that's about all you were managed to pick up with this.
Okay. I'll turn to Tobiashi and I'm like, I don't know if the 2 other members of our group fully trust us yet.
We shall see in time.
Alright,
should, let
I'll
it be
take it
for
at
now.
that.
It's a little bit too big of a city to deal with it at the time.
Just as we're walking, actually, too, since I'd say we caught up to them a little bit, but still keep our distance. Since our secret conversation's done, he'll take out that fruit that Toby gave him and take a bite and offer some to Val while we're walking there, since he knows it's not poison now.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, Tobiashi, I looked at last video. You said that you believed that the price of the fruit was 12 silver. It is 1 silver for 6 fruit.
Gosh. Okay, wow.
So you, at that 12 silver, you basically bought a whole basket of it.
Yeah, that's fine.
So
Hey, you really liked it, so hey.
Wait, so I add back the coin.
yeah, you can.
Yeah.
Or
Unless
you
want
can
fruits worth of 12 gold.
yeah, you can get back 11 silver, or you could get back 10 silver and say that you bought a dozen of those fruit.
Okay. Yeah.
It's always easier to go with round numbers.
Yeah. And he really liked them, so yeah.
Yeah. Who knows if you're going to find them in another town? So
Load up while you can.
And I'll take the offer from Trevor offering me some of the fruit.
all right. So you make your way out of the city very easily. It is fairly early in the morning, so there are a lot of people walking about. Probably around... Well, you had time to go to get your papers and to meet the newly born church of audience followers. Which, by the way, I don't believe you have ever mentioned what was the name of that church belief.
Oh, it was just the Church of the Dragons. It was very simple.
So, so I'd say it is about 9, maybe 9:30 in the morning. People are slowly starting to move about the city to make most of their purchase for the day, about food and essentials. So it is fairly busy. There are a good number of guards. I'd say everyone roll a perception roll.
Uh,
12.
Okay.
16.
Okay.
An 8.
12 for me. Does Tal get one as well?
If he's up and
Even
out,
though he-
yes.
He's up on my shoulder. I don't know if that matters or not. He's not out flying, I would say, currently.
Well,
that's 8.
he is a separate being, so yes, he does get one if you...
Okay. No, he rolled worse than me, so okay.
All right.
Even at advantage.
So I was the best with 16.
Well, you are the best with 16. However, you have to remember that Tobiashi has an extremely high passive perception. So even though he rolled low, this does average out. So I'd say Valtteri and Tobiashi, you're probably those who have the better perception of what's going on around you. And right now, you feel fairly confident that there are too many people and too many guards around for this cult to try and attack you in broad daylight. Audience and Trevor, well, you look around, you see a lot of people. Reminds you of when you were in that crowd that you had a lot of trouble seeing where the attackers would come from, but you don't see anything that would suggest that someone is coming toward you.
Yeah.
So it takes maybe about 3/4 of an hour to get out of the city completely. For the last 10 minutes, you are outside the wall, but in the small district that has started to form in front of the city. You can actually see a fair amount of people in this little district, which actually doesn't really have a name yet. It really is something new that has attached to the front of the castle, and it is easy to believe that maybe if it keeps growing in 20, 30 years, they might actually extend the castle wall, but for now it really just looks like maybe 10 or 15 houses that have just bunched up at the entrance. You do see among them a group of Sharoon with their packed animal with them, which sorry, I was just making sure at something, which well, I'd say, do you or do you don't? Well, no, actually, Tobiyashi, if you want, you could make a intelligence check.
Okay.
To remember a few things about their huge pack beast.
Oh. Oh wait, yeah, I gotta go to that one. Forget.
Are we really close to them right now, or are they...
I can barely
20?
hear you. 20, alright. Valteria, I can barely hear you. Alright, so yes, you get out of the city and you see this small caravan that has refused to come inside the city. And you can easily see why, because these creature, which Tobiyashi, you do remember hearing once that they're called Goompas by the Showrooms. And they are roughly elephant-sized bears, which the Goomba use both as pack beast and also living quarters, as they build these small tents or houses, something in between, they just fix on their back. And this is how the Ansherun live.
How far are we from them?
I'd say you are about maybe 50, 60 feet away from them.
Yeah, I'll quickly take out my sketchbook and start drawing it.
So, I have a question. What are these showroom things named?
The Sharoons, they are one of the race that are indigenous to this world. They are small, about halfling size. Their eyes are of a single color. They all wear this hat that does make them look like a bit of a mushroom. But actually, if you want a better picture, both in size and in shape, it is similar to a sombrero in size on their head. However, the edge, you can't see where the edge of the hat curls back in. A cloth has been sewn, and it goes back around the corners, making a small bulge. Sorry, very similar to the side of the sombrero. However, this piece of cloth goes all the way to the center, making their hat look like a mushroom cap. On the hat, there are almost always, at least you've never heard of one that doesn't have this. There are patterns of dots and roundish shape. And you know that you remember being told that these dots are actually, tribal colors for them. Their hat is usually of a color that is either brown, orange, rusty orange, sandy color also. And this pattern of color and dots really represent their clan as they travel, because they always travel in caravans, and it is both their way of life, their clan, their home, and usually maybe one or two family. And these the Ashe Arun, always live in these caravans. They are merchant folks, caravan folks. They usually are only found on larger islands. Very small islands don't really have them because they would just always be in one place, since they would have time to go to one on each side of these islands very quickly. This is why Valtteri has never seen one before.
So what are they doing at this moment?
Right now, they're packing and unpacking things on their huge pack beasts. They are caravan folks. They've just had a day of trading, you would assume, and they're getting ready to go back on the road.
Can I use animal handling and pet one of the pack beasts?
We was a ways away from it, though, wasn't we?
Yeah, we're still 50 to 60 feet away.
Well, I would go to
Is
it.
it straight ahead of us or off to the side?
A little bit off to your left when you're gonna go past them. Audience, you would have heard of them. However, since they are practically never found on the sea, and you've spent most of your time at sea, you've never actually seen them.
I'll go straight to them and try to pet one of them.
And she starts to walk away. Trevor grabs her wrist. That might be a bad idea. Wait a minute. Don't just walk straight up to a just random animal.
But it looks cute.
It is a bear the size of an elephant.
Yes, cute.
Yeah,
all right.
And I'll say I've traveled in caravans, but I don't remember seeing those.
I'll walk up behind and say, yeah, I think it's wise that we keep on going.
I will agree.
Fine. And
it's the trip to the Wizard Tower all over again.
And I keep making multiple sketches of the pack piece. As an homage.
At least Toby agrees to stay on track this time and not run off into the woods picking weeds and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, because he seems to have heard of them. This probably helps him not to just wander off.
Yeah.
And Tobiashi, Tobiashi and audience, since you both would have heard of them at least, Tobiashi, you've seen one before, you know they are generally very open, very kind. And I'd say with the role you just made, Tobiashi, actually I'm going to also give a chance to audience to know about this.
Okay.
Intelligence roll.
Well, that won't go well for me. But... 13.
13, alright. Well, You have both heard one thing. Never enter a drinking contest with a Sharoon who seems to be eager to do so. Audience, you don't remember why. Tobiyashi,
Okay.
you remember that there is something about them being inherently immune to all form of natural poisons. But they don't all have this immunity.
Okay.
And by natural poisons, I mean all all vegetable-based poison. So mushroom, poisonous berries, but it doesn't include poisons from animal like snakes or spiders.
Okay.
So you
Keep
slowly
walking.
you slowly go past by them. You see them; they seem very busy. You see one or two of them just greet you with a small bow as you go by.
Bow back.
Trevor will let go of her wrist as we get close, see if she can keep self-control there.
Oof. Pet.
Are you going to try and
How close are we at this point?
when you when you pass them, you are maybe 10 feet away.
Okay, I will stay beside her just in case something weird happens.
Do I have to use animal handling?
Well, as you sort of start wandering toward their pack beast like a small child, you see one of the Sharoon just almost appear in front of you and say, "Oh, hold on. It is the size of a halfling, so it is roughly half your size. From your point of view, you can mostly just see his hat." And say, greetings. What were you planning to do?
Trevor will take a. Oh, go ahead.
Pet.
Okay, so she just does that. Trevor will take a few steps back and kind of crouch down where he can see it. And she's really dying to pet these things. She's big into animals.
I see. You see this Sharoon get close to you, Trevor, and he just tugs gently in your sleeves.
What?
Well, you're kind of tall. Can you just crouch a little?
Well, I said I took a few steps back and crouched down where I could see under his hat there.
All right,
so.
all right. I wasn't sure if you were if you were talking about this one. It's just that usually when someone asks me this, it's a child. How old is she?
Older than she should be, still doing this. Older than she should be and still doing this, but she's lived in the woods most of her life, so she just really loves animals.
In a petted leg.
I see. All right. Well, at least I know she's not a small child, which usually sometimes tends to have unpredictable reactions toward an animal. So at least I know she's supposed to be an adult.
Yeah, and about the time he says child, I'll just lean forward and whisper to him a little bit. No, that's the scaly one up there.
Oh my gosh.
He just takes a look and says, yeah. He turns around and he talks to one of his own people in his own language. Can anyone understand language of halflings?
No.
Let me see.
Nope.
No.
What was that? I hit the mute on my.
Can
See, what if we understand Halfling? No,
Yeah.
I don't. Okay, that's what I figured you was asking, but I want to make sure. I muted myself, my headphones by accident.
All right. So none of you understand what he says, but you see a reaction from a few others. They just all bunch up in front of Valtari, and one actually just looks up and takes your hand, and he says, "All right, these aren't domestic animals. These are tamed animals. So be careful, be gentle, and if it seems to have an aggressive posture, freeze, don't move, let us handle it. Do you understand?"
I don't know how well this is going to work, but I was going to say Trevor is going to try an insight to check the animal while she's doing it to see if he can detect if it's going to do an aggressive posture or not.
Actually, I'd say it's more of a nature check than insight check for an animal.
Well, I still got a +4 to that, so I'll take it.
I'm looking at. I'm looking down, really excited. Yes, I understand.
Oh no, that's still only a 10, so total.
Well, Trevor, you notice that it is currently eating.
Do I see this big bear thing? Yeah, from where I'm at.
Yes, it is the size of an elephant, so it is a bit hard to miss.
I'll just kind of whisper to her, just try not to go close to its food, and you'll probably be okay.
So, Valtari, I'll make you do an animal handling.
Gosh.
Natural 20.
That's good.
So,
all right, so as you
26.
for a total of
26.
26. All right, so you carefully approach the animal, and you notice it has noticed you. It is not reacting aggressively. However, you can hear some of the showrooms say a few words in their own language to the Goomba, and the Goomba seems to look at the showrooms, look at you, and then you slowly approach it. You are about 5 feet away from one of its legs. You see it slowly turn its head toward you.
I want to pet its forehead.
All right. So you get closer.
Trevor just holding his hand up, just getting ready just in case.
So you slowly almost get ready to touch his nose, and then you actually manage to put your hand on the top of his nose. And then you see the Goomba turn his head around and go back to eating.
You'll just see her, I'm assuming, giggling, and it's like, okay, can we keep moving now?
You hear one of the showrooms, all right, that's enough. Keep moving. You don't want to disturb it for too long. We have a long journey ahead, so it needs to eat properly.
I'm lightly bowing in front of them. Thank you.
Yep, I say thank you for your time and tolerating us on that, and start heading back out.
Well, we are a little bit used to it, especially in large cities. Usually it's children's, but it does happen from time to time that an adult will actually try this. She seemed to have handled this pretty well. We've seen some a bit more extreme reaction from some people trying, especially the horned ones. They sometimes cause a bit of an odd reaction, mostly because usually it is a way to try and tame the beast so they can actually try and steal one during the night. But it is always refreshing to see one just being nice to them.
In the meantime, I'm just happily hopping towards Toby and audience.
Trevor still kneeling down, just saying, thank you again for that. It means a lot to her.
It apparently did.
Yep, she loves
I'll
drawing
begin to
them
keep
as well.
walking.
But sorry, we have to keep moving. We have an appointment we need to keep. So
Of course,
thank you
of
again
course.
for your time.
We understand.
And he'll turn around and catch back up with the group.
All right. Audience, what did you do during all of this? You're muted.
You're muted.
You're muted.
I just kind of observed, and then I kind of kept looking down the road like I wanted to continue impatiently.
It's like, come on, guys. Yeah, now audience is seeing what Trevor had to go through on the way to the Wizard Tower.
Well, I think the reason why he wants to go is because he wants to catch up to
catch up.
someone. So,
I'm just sitting there
Yep.
patiently, just watching audience, looking at them. Like, oh gosh. Well, we'll get there when we get there.
And now, Tobiyashi, for some reason, you have a flashback of the Mage Tower, and you sort of realize that, oh, this is how we looked to Trevor when we were going there.
Val is
Alright.
not one of Val is not one of the happiest persons ever.
Oh, it's your first encounter of a Goomba.
I still think of Super Mario when you say that name.
Not a Koopa, Goomba.
No, Goomba is the little brown
The
mushroom.
Goomba
in-
Troopers, yes. All right. So you leave the town in front of the Scythian walls, apparently with all of your limbs. So you start walking. The day is a bit cloudy, so it is not a bright and radiant day, but it's still cloudy. However, you do expect that it will probably start raining somewhere during the day.
I set a very fast pace initially. I'm walking quite quickly.
All right. Well then, Valtteri and Trevor, you see audience almost starting to jog. You know, just under jogging. So you see he has sort of in his mind the thought of not exhausting himself and having to stop while everyone just keeps going, but he seems to be in a bit of a hurry. Tobiyashi...
I'll-
It's all right. Well,
Yes.
Tobiyashi, actually, if you wanted, you could easily keep up with audience right now.
No, I'll just stay in between. I'll stay in between the audience and Trevor and Valter.
So I guess this means that the marching order is audience Tobiyashi and Trevor and Valtteri.
Basically,
One beside
side
one
by
another?
side, I would say, yeah.
All right.
But Trevor was just kind of motioned everybody to try to keep up with audience and just kind of speak up to audience. Thank you for staying on point. I've kind of had to go through something similar on our little split up here.
I'll
And
just
just
chuckle and
kinda-
just say, yeah. The sooner we get to where we need to go, and the sooner we we don't need to worry about getting there.
Yep, I agree.
All right. So you walk for a few hours. Are you actually trying to pay attention to what's around you, or are you just trying to hurry along as fast as you can?
I'm probably just kind of setting almost like a marching pace, like what almost like soldiers would set if they're marching.
Okay.
Like I'm walking pretty fast, so I'm probably not paying a ton of attention to what's around me. Like I'm keeping on course, but
Okay.
I'll pay attention around us. I'll be lightly walking, just
Well,
scanning
with
the
your
area.
natural speed, being a monk, you can easily catch up with. You can keep up with him, and still look like you are barely exhausting yourself walking, and it almost feels like just all right, it's a little bit more brisk than you're used to, but it's easy to keep up with.
Yeah.
Yeah, Trevor will try and keep pace with audience and maybe try and pull Val if she falls behind. But say about that time, once we get around where there's no buildings or anything around, he probably would send Tal up and just do a figure eight with the point centered on me there, just to stay out ahead.
It would only have taken you maybe 10 or 15 minutes to move out of the town in front of the of Sutian. Right now you are walking on a very well-traveled road. This actually is the commercial road for now. Trevor,
so what's okay? Go ahead.
I'd say, Trevor, you do know that audience is trying to hurry up, but unless you don't really know what his constitution is like because you haven't seen him much, but unless it is a very good one, he's eventually going to have to slow down at the same pace as you in Valtech.
Yeah. Well, I just don't want him to get like a mile ahead and slow down. So I'll try and keep everybody up as best as we can. Maybe not try and keep right behind him, but let him get a little lead there and just try and keep pace somewhat. Keep him in sight at least.
Yeah.
My constitution is not that bad.
Yeah, mine either.
Actually,
mine and hers are the best. We'll be able to keep going longer than any of them.
Yeah, actually, I hadn't noticed, but I think you almost all have the same constitution. No, actually.
Yeah, me and Val walk all night just about.
All right. Oh, that's kind of fun.
Yeah, not so squishy of a wizard.
No, actually, audience and Tobiashi have the same constitution, and Trevor and Valtteri have the same constitution.
Oh my gosh!
This is weird.
It apparently was meant to be that Valtteri and Trevor were going to be close together.
Yep.
And audience and Tobiashi.
Yep, they got their own little bromance there going, so
So you can easily, for now, it's easy to keep pace. So audience is not paying much attention to what's around him, just in front of him. Tobiashi already said he was paying attention. Trevor and Valtteri, are you looking out around you or just trying to keep pace?
Oh, I'm looking around, and if I see animals, I will try to draw them.
Yeah, I'm just basically watching her. Like I said, I was going to send Tao up to just kind of circle us to keep an eye out.
All right, then.
If he sees anything.
All right, then Valtteri, Tobiashi, and Tao make a perception roll.
15 for Tao.
Okay.
6.
Okay. And Tobiashi?
Oh,
You
15.
don't have it. All right. So you have a few hours of walk in front of you. Actually, this is a day. This is half a day. After about 3 or 4 hours, you come at a Y-shaped intersection. So from your point of view, one goes straight ahead and the other one turns right.
Alright.
I guess I'll slow down because I'll reach it first.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I don't know where to go exactly.
Yeah.
Same.
Okay, so then once we catch
Well,
up, I'm like,
the one going straight forward is the most traveled one of the paths. And you do see oh goodness, I forgot how it's called. A post sign. Indicating that straight ahead is the commercial road. And if you turn to the right, it goes to a town.
well,
Valtteri, I can't hear you at all.
There we go. I guess we'll probably go to the right because we wanted to do the town hopping and not.
actually, I was going to say, I don't know if I'd got a decent survival, so I was going to see if I could look up and see if I could tell by the sun or whatever, like which direction is the closer path to the way we need to go. At least going by what we see.
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead and make a survival roll.
Yeah, how that's.
And anyone who would
not terrible, but 14.
And anyone who actually wants to have a better understanding of where these roads are going, at least the cardinal points, you can make a roll.
Okay,
I'll make one.
Well, I already know from how we got to the port city that we were on the bigger street. So.
That's 16.
I got a 9.
All right, and Trevor, I think you said you had 15.
14.
14. Well, actually, Trevor and Tobiyashi, because just looking around you and taking in what looks like, you do have to wait a few minutes because it is starting to be very cloudy in the sky. But if you take the right, it will take you almost directly to the south. And if you keep going straight forward, you are going to go straight east.
And
we wanted to go northeast, right?
Northeast, just a little bit under northeast.
Yeah. So, yeah, I would say the one going to the town is taking us like away from it, right? South.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say the commercial road is the one that gets us closer to where we're going. It's going east. The other one seems to be more south.
But wasn't that the more dangerous one?
Yeah.
Agreed.
So,
But
I will leave it up to a vote, but I'm just pointing out which one is most likely the faster route.
agreed. But as of right now, I think it'd be safer for us to stay where there's more people at, because it's looking a lot more safe around people than it is when we're alone. I hate to say it.
So we better should take the trip this way to the town.
I was going to be like, I personally disagree. I think it might be, in fact, more dangerous to go out of our way because it means more time on the road, even though we're into towns, and we still have a good amount of daylight left, we might still. This is just the first town we've come across. We might still, if we head down the commercial road, be able to find another town that's more along the way that we want to go, instead of heading out of our
Trevor
way.
will speak up and say, I kind of surprisingly agree with audience.
But when we back then traveled on that street, I can't really remember seeing a town that we passed by.
When you were coming back here, you are in Evardo. All you could see was
Oh,
the
there
sky
was a
above.
window.
Yes, looking up.
Yeah, looking straight up, that was the only window out the top. But yeah,
I mean,
she didn't really stop, so we don't know if we.
Yeah,
went
but
by
it
one or
does
not.
take longer by foot than by car, though, with horses.
Just look at Tao and. All right, you're the tiebreaker. Which way do you want to go? And I'll mentally command him to take the eastern route to fly off that way.
Well, why
And
not?
so Tao leaps off the shoulder of Trevor and go east.
I'll follow.
Look at the group and smile.
Oh wait, can I take it? Okay, whoa.
Can I do?
I was gonna make an insight check. Yeah,
Yeah,
I wanna
yeah.
see if,
To determine what?
to see if well, I don't know. He can make it disappear. He said that
I
beforehand, didn't
No,
he?
I want to know why he's grinning. Like, I have a feeling that there's something.
I'll tell you what, make a history check against me. I'll make it as a 12 because he actually even mentioned this in our conversations. I'll make it low for you.
Well,
You make it.
well
For me?
actually, it's not going to be
This
the
is
same roll.
this would just be for Valtteri. Because
Yes, I
this
say
is a direct
Valtteri. I'd
conversation
say you
between
can make a straight intelligence check, not a history check, because
them. Okay.
it's too recent to be history. Tobiyashi, if you want to make your insight roll to figure out if he seems to be on the level with this tie-breaking decision, you can.
That's a natural one. So
That's a natural one for just for fun. Trevor, are you trying to make it look like it was an honest decision from Tao?
Well, maybe maybe to everybody else, but he figures Val would probably pick up on it.
All right, so just in case, I would have you roll a deception roll. And
All right.
there's probably the only way to fail this is if you also get a natural one.
That's a 7.
I rolled 15.
Okay, well, in our conversations, you will remember that Trevor said Tao has to obey any commands that he gives him.
Yes, I agree.
He has
With a
to. He
15
doesn't have a choice.
With a 15, you would remember him saying that.
Yeah.
Tobiyashi, with the roll that you just had, everything seems on level.
all right, I believe you.
I'm kind of
I
looking
mean, he
a
said
little
he
bit.
wouldn't lie to me. So I mean,
I'm
everything was under
lightly.
the bridge.
I'm looking at Trevor lightly upset about it.
Just kind of give a little shrug of his shoulders.
I'll just promptly follow the bird.
All right.
You,
And because I can't go alone now,
Audience, you're muted. Audience, you're muted again.
I'll just also follow quickly. I'm like, awesome. They're going the way I want.
All right.
And I'm just
Go ahead.
sorry. No, you.
He's drinking,
No,
so
I just
you're...
said- Yeah, go ahead.
I'm just like standing there for a few seconds, like, seriously?
I'll just stand there with him while they take the lead or whatever, because Toby's the perceptive one, so I figure he could scout ahead.
Yeah.
But I'll be like, yeah,
I
well,
know what you did.
yeah, I figured you would. They don't.
And I'll go east.
Yeah, we got to make up a little time for your petting the
So-
animal.
I'd say,
It was cute.
Trevor, make an intelligence roll. Straight intelligence.
Okay, that's 14,
Are we
18
gonna
total.
How are we gonna
18.
separate the group again?
No, actually, I would say, just to remind you, one of the perks of having a flying familiar is that you can send it straight up and look around, and actually with 100 feet straight up, you would be able to see quite a distance away, meaning you would probably be able to see if there are people on the road or other intersection, maybe within a few hours of where you are.
Okay.
Having actually walked for a fair amount of time, it doesn't take a lot of elevation to have a good idea of what's coming ahead a few hours before. So 100 feet straight up, that's actually... You might even be able to see the closest town.
All right. Well, since we're already going that way, I'll just say, well, catch up. I mean, we got plenty of eyes around between all of us and Tao in the air. And once we catch back up to the group, I'll just tell Val to keep walking, put my hand on her shoulder, and go looking through his eyes and send him straight up then just to have a look.
All right.
I am going to take his hand and hold it just in case now that he loses his grip on my shoulder.
All right. In that case, what kind of role would that be?
For me?
Yes, you are essentially guiding a blind person trying to walk at the same speed as someone who is trying.
I thought you meant I have to do a check if I'm able to take his hand.
Yeah, contested strength check. Yeah, do I actually let you take my hand off your shoulder?
I'd say, oh goodness. Roll perception roll first.
19.
All right. All right, we're gonna go with that. Yeah, you actually managed to guide him fairly well. Seeing small bumps in the road, preventing him from just falling face flat, trying to keep up with audience who is doing his best to keep a marching speed.
And I'll just say in a normal tone, I'm trusting you here. Don't run me into anything after earlier with Tao.
So with a 19 perception, yes, you actually managed this for quite a while. Trevor, how long are you planning on doing this? Because if it's a few hours, Valtteri's going to have to make a few more checks.
No, it'd probably be just like 5 minutes. He'd get,
right.
He wouldn't go the full 100 feet because then he would have to hover there without breaking concentration. But I'd say he'd go about 90 feet and then just kind of circle around for a little bit to see where I can still see through his eyes.
All right. Well, you hear a train in the background. Sorry.
Yeah.
All right. So roll a perception roll for Tao.
All right.
It's the commercial roll. There's train.
I didn't knew that we were in that modern time.
It's the new caravan rolling through. It's 21 total, 18 plus 3.
It's a Warforged caravan. So, 23. Actually, you do see through Tao's eyes that you are going to cross path with another caravan going the opposite way.
Are there any animals in it? Any weird looking animals?
You'd say they are ordinary horses pulling 2 wagons and a few people around them and on them.
Can I tell about how far ahead they are?
I'd say maybe 40 minutes ahead.
Okay.
And with with the roll that you made, you are mostly sure they are either halfling or gnomes.
Okay. Well, while she's leading me, I'll just call out. Maybe a mile or two ahead, a few miles. Another caravan coming our way. Horses, carriage, small beings, gnomes, halflings. So.
And you can see from Tao's perspective, there will be another fork in the road, maybe an hour and a half from where you are. The fork goes either straight or to your left.
So if we're moving east, that would be moving further away again. That would be more southeast.
Actually, if you keep going, the
No, that'd be
intersection
northeast.
would be... Yes, exactly.
Oh yeah, never mind. Yeah, got it. I'm thinking west, and yeah, okay.
I know. I'm giving you the description from your perspective, not the perspective of a map.
Yeah, I'm
with the
thinking
right
just like
direction.
his compass, and I'm standing at the. Okay, all right. And he'll call that out again. Another path coming up, ways out still, but one seems to be heading more northeast. So, I think we're going the right way. And after that, since I got a pretty good perspective, like I said, it was only going to be for like 5 or 10 minutes. I'd go ahead and bring Tao back and bring my vision back. So,
all right. And to your good surprise, Valtteri has managed to keep you away from mud puddles and small rocks on the road.
just thank you. I'll try not to game the system again.
The next time I'll just ask Orina what she thinks about it.
Um,
And I'm like, oh, I'll pull her back a little distance on that, because did you say that with everybody else close by?
well, if you're still in marching order,
We're still
audience is
Uh-huh.
probably something like 15 or 20 feet ahead of everyone. Tobiyashi just 5 feet behind him, and Valtteri and Trevor 15 feet away.
Well, we'll still keep pace. And I'm like, I thought you're gonna ask Karina in front of everybody, or I thought you was gonna let her reveal herself on her own.
No, I was whispering that to you in a harsh tone. But you guys didn't finish me saying how I would say it.
Okay. All right.
Well, if you're whispering
Okay,
it,
fair
then
enough.
if you're whispering this, then right now you are feeling a little bit of, I'd say, traveling wanderlust. A very faint feeling. It is not a whoa, just a that's interesting. Oh, okay.
Okay.
So, as predicted by Trevor, you see, 35 minutes after he said this, a caravan does appear on the horizon. 2 wagons pulled by horses.
Where is he?
They're
Trevor
common
just put
horses. You most likely saw some before.
I still
Start.
try to remember of how they looked like, then take out my sketchbook and make a sketch of them.
All right. Well, one was a mostly black horse with a few patches of white, and on his nose there was a gray line. The other one was mostly gray-white. No, sorry, not gray-white. Brown, white, and just a little bit of yellowish brown. That's on the left side of his nose. I was trying to remember what it what it's called in English. Sorry. So this is what you see from the horses. They look like common horse. Nothing that would suggest other than actually just being horses pulling carts. The second cart actually doesn't have horse. It is tied to the first one. So the horses do look a bit tired, maybe slightly overworked.
I'm not happy about that.
But you also... Well, I'd say make a perception roll.
Can I make one against her to see if she's like distressed at like looking at the horses or anything?
I'd say that would be more of an insight check.
Okay. That's my strong point anyway. Natural 20.
Oh,
I guess
25, 26 total. 25 total.
I guess it's my lucky day. I just rolled a fucking another natural 20.
All right. Well,
So
actually,
24.
so Valtteri, yes, you do feel a bit of sympathy for the horses. However, with a perception roll that high, you also notice that none of them is wearing fine clothes. It probably is that they can only afford 2 horses. So they pulled all of their resource together, and it is a caravan mostly of halflings. So because it is covered wagons. You can't see what's inside, but it is most likely filled with fruits and vegetables, and they're probably on their way to try and sell this. They have very common folk clothes. Some even a little bit more worn than they should be.
Can I stop them?
You can try.
That's about what I was going to say. After Trevor seeing her face and picking up that she's distressed about the horse, he said, just follow my lead, and he'll approach him and say, sorry, could I stop you for a second? My traveling companion here really loves animals, and she'd like to just take some time with them and pet them. She loves drawing and being around animals.
All right. Audience and Tobiyashi, since you're just a little bit in front of everyone, how do you react when you cross this caravan?
I'll just kind of give a friendly nod, in passing. I didn't really plan to stop.
Okay.
Do they look suspicious or anything? Like, does it look like they're running away from anything? I mean, like...
Is there in a hurry or something?
I'd say make a perception roll. Well, actually, what are you trying to determine? Their intention, or just generally how it looks like they are moving about?
Their intentions.
Their intentions. So you actually do have to get close to them. Maybe 10 or 15 feet away. But if you are willing to do this, yes, I will let you make an insight check.
How far am I right now?
Well, you are maybe 15 feet ahead of Valtteri and Trevor, so anywhere between 30 feet to 5 feet, you could start doing rolls. If you want to make an insight check, I would say you actually have to get a little bit closer. This is why I said 10 or 15 feet.
Okay, I'll walk up.
While this is happening, I'm actually lightly pulling Trevor back and whispering to his ear that I actually want to help those people because they seem like they're not in that good of a shape at the moment.
I'll just say, okay, but I'm almost broke, so...
I'll walk up to them. Yeah, I start walking towards them.
Okay.
I not understand.
So, audience, I would say make a perception roll. 10. That's good. You actually notice that Tobiyashi is slowly starting to veer away from you and going toward the caravan. And you notice that the group seems to be reacting to this caravan, not in an aggressive way, just they all seems to be going toward it instead of trying to pass it by.
Okay. I mean, I guess when I see that, I'll kind of sigh and stop. Like, here we go.
All right. So, Tobiyashi, you get to the caravan before Valtteri and Trevor. So,
Insight check.
go ahead. You can make your insight check. They're letting you approach.
17.
17, all right. Well, you do notice that they are slightly suspicious. They are mostly halflings. Most of them don't seem to be armed other than with peasant weaponry, so possibly a dagger and some farming equipment. One of them looks very suspicious of you, especially when he sees how well armed you all are compared to them. However, another one just looks at you and greets you.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I say, hello there, and I'll kind of bow, and I'll say, how's your evening going?
He answers to that. Well, hello there, monk. How can we help you?
Well, nothing really in particular. I was just curious on what you guys are doing.
Oh, well, we are making our way to Sutian. We're hoping to sell our winter wares. Getting a bit of a head start for the summer. With the solstice of light coming, we can usually manage to sell quite a bit of ware and be able to come back to the town before planting season is completely over, and we can actually sow the fields, make sure we can eat to the winter.
Okay.
Do we hear that also, or?
You're
Are we
almost there. I'd say you can make a perception roll.
Mhm.
It's going to be a very low DC because you're not far away.
Okay. Where's my
How many
dice?
other halflings are on the thing, on their caravan?
That you can see, there are 4 sitting in front of each wagon. 4 of them are walking beside the wagons, and you can see some shadows inside of the wagons. You're not sure how many inside, but you are sure that there are at least 2 of them in each wagon.
I rolled a 17.
17. Yes, you actually hear what Tobiyashi is saying. What Tobiyashi and the halfling are saying.
Okay.
So,
I'll go on. Well, that's good. That's good to hear. I hope you get there safely, and I'm sorry to intrude on you guys. I'll be getting on my way, and I'm gonna go to audience and just say, sorry about that. Keep on walking.
I will be not going there.
Yeah, about the time Toby walks away, I guess we walk up. So
yeah, and you hear that. And, well, as you move away from the halfling, Tobiyashi, he does say, well, thank you very much, Mr. Monk. It is always nice to see people of your order walking in these paths. It makes sure that there are not too many brigands and highway thieves. Close to festivities, they always seem to creep out from everywhere. So,
Yeah. Yeah, we're just on our way to the next city.
wow. Well, next city is a bit far away. But yeah, we're from a city just a little bit further northeast of here. We took the branch of the road that's just goes along the side of the mountains. So it's mostly peaceful, and you can easily make the distance inside of a day. But if you're going to the next city, then you're going to the next trading city, and well, you still have maybe 2/3 of a day of walk. Looking at the sun, I'd say you'll have to sleep outside, so be on your toes.
Okay, thank you for the information.
I wanted to go the other way.
I have to be getting on my way, and thank you very much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Have a good day.
You too.
Well, and then I guess we approach.
Yes.
Hello. I'm trying to make them notice me.
Well, one of them reacts very surprised and almost a bit suspicious of you. The one that just talked to Tobiyashi looks at Tobiyashi moving away, then looks at you, and are you with the monk that just came by?
Yes.
You're all very close together, so I'd say I was hoping so. All right, can we help you?
I heard you have some products that you're selling.
Well, yes, mostly fruits and vegetables. We do have a little bit of dried meat, but mostly fruits and vegetable.
Okay. What vegetables do you have?
Well, most of the common ones. Are you from this island chain or another one?
I'm from this island chain, but from the furthest island.
Oh, okay. Well, I think that we mostly have the same fruits and vegetables. Of course, we have a Mistle Grove next to our city, so we have quite a few of those fruits. But there is also an apple orchard, so we have quite a lot of them. As for the vegetables, well, oh shoot, I was hoping to get out of. I forgot to make a little research that I promised myself I'd do. All right, We're gonna have to improvise this.
You're welcome.
That's all right. That's all right. I promised myself I would do it, and I forgot. So it's on me. Well, yes. We have a lot of cucumbers. They grow well where we are. Well, we were hoping to bring some lettuce, but it doesn't fare well on this long of a travel. 2 days, we'd have to bring quite a lot of water. We actually have very nice carrots. Well, it's very early in the season, so I'd say it's pretty nice for winter carrots. Tomatoes. They're not exactly ripe. We did pick them a little early. Again, it's mostly the winter crops, so we picked them very early so they would hopefully ripen on the way. We actually have quite a few bags of wheat. Again, winter wheat. I know it's not the best one, and they usually don't have that big of a yield, but we're hoping to sell them to get a bit of funds. Make sure that we actually have a nice harvest this year. Last year was a bit hard. Is there anything in particular that you're looking for? We have a few more varieties, but
What I
No,
also.
Hilda. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. No, you go ahead.
I was just gonna say, just because I think he knows what she's up to or whatever. He'll just kind of lean and whisper to her, "What do horses eat?" I'm pretty sure Trevor doesn't know.
Well, you can make a nature check. You never know. You might have heard it somewhere.
Well, I could have whispered it to him, but it's okay.
Well, you can still tell me, but no, I don't get it off the top of my head. That's a 3 plus 4, so that's 8 or 7. I mean,
I whispered to him they eat like grass, hay, carrots. They can also eat apples.
Valkyrie, I'd say make a nature check also.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay. But what I actually wanted to whisper to him too is that I wasn't really going for food for the horses, but to actually help the people. That's an 11 plus a 14.
14. Regarding the question that Trevor asked, you do know that one of the reasons why horse like apple is because of the sugar content of the apple. It is sort of like candy for them.
Yeah.
I'll whisper back, well, what do you have in mind? Are you just going to give them money and send them on their way?
I was actually trying to buy something and maybe just give them a little bit of a tip or something. Or, yeah.
Okay.
I'm talking back to the Halfling again. I think I also heard that you were talking about winter clothing.
Clothing?
Before? Yes.
No, we don't have any clothes.
Okay.
Except what we have on, and I don't think it would fit you.
I would. How much do the carrots and the cucumbers cost?
Well, how many do you want? We haven't sold anything yet. We have quite a lot. He does reach behind and he says something in Halfling, and someone hands him a cucumber and a few carrots. And like he said, they're mostly winter wares, so it is not a big, juicy carrot or a very beautiful cucumber. Yeah. They are a little bit scrawny. And says, well, I don't know, how about 6 copper for a bag? For the carrots, for the cucumbers, how about half a dozen for the same price?
Half a dozen is a lot.
Yeah, Trevor hear those prices. How much for some apples and the dried meats?
Apples? I could sell you a dozen apple for 1 silver. The dried meat. Turns around, asks something to one of the other halfling, and well, for a 5 or 6 pieces, and he shows you his closed fist, roughly this size, this length. I'd say, how about 5 coppers?
All right. Go ahead.
I'll take a bag of carrots and 3 cucumbers and 5 apples. How much would that be from what he said?
He'd be ready to sell them to you at 1 silver, 5 coppers.
Okay, wait. How much is in 1 bag of carrots? So
well, everyone took carrots. So I'd say about 12 carrots.
Okay, so 3 cucumbers and 5 apples. Okay, I'll give him 1 gold piece, and you can keep the rest.
Wow, this is very generous. Actually, I'd say who. Oh, that's interesting. 14. All right, Trevor. I'd say because you've been talking to them for a few moments, your passive insight just tells you that they haven't been marking up the price, but they sort of have been using this to test out what could be a fair price this year. So when you see Valtteri give a full gold, you sort of see the one just after, next to the one who was talking, have a huge grin on his face. Sort of like the, oh wow, we can sell this for that much? Oh wow, this is gonna be a good year. And they hand you the fruit and vegetable that you just bought.
All I wanted to do is be nice, and then that happens.
Yeah, that's all right. Well, since Trevor picked up on it, he'll correct him. Don't worry. He'll say, "All right, I'll take 2 of the meats and however much that 1 silver of apples was. I can't remember how many I got out of that.
It's 12 apple, I believe.
Yeah, is it that much? Okay. All right,
Unless I'm misreading my notes, it could have happened. But I think that's it. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Then before we go, I'll ask Valtteri, do you want to feed the horses?
Oh yeah, and I'll give each horse like 2 carrots, and each of them an apple.
Yeah, I was gonna give her some of mine to feed to the horses if she wasn't gonna give any of her food up. So
yeah. So now I have 8 carrots and 3.
Yeah. Well. Just before I did that, Miss, what are you doing?
Feeding your horses.
Okay. Well, just be careful. And you do see him genuinely stressed and suspicious of this. But not because you're a tiefling, but mostly because they don't want to have to pull this all the way to the city by themselves.
Yeah. Well, as she's doing that, I'll pay for mine, and they're like, "That was a huge tip. I know you got excited. Don't get used to it. Those were fair prices."
You hear from inside the cart. Oh.
Sorry, I just want to be honest with you. I don't want you to mark it up too high and not sell anything.
So Valtteri, I'd say make an animal handling. These are domesticated animal, but they don't know you.
In a second, I was just quickly putting custom items because they don't have apples, carrots, or cucumbers in D&D Beyond.
But I think, let's see. I think I give him I'm gonna give him 2 silver. I think that's a little over what he was charging. Just tell him to keep the rest.
That's
I'm not as generous as Val.
23.
All right. Well, the horse lets you feed them very easily. They are domesticated animal. You made such a high roll. They sort of almost immediately recognize the scent of nature. And they let you approach, and they take the.
I also scratched them lightly on the forehead because I know that horses like that.
All right. So yeah, they let you. With a roll like that, you can probably take them and go home with them. But
you know, if I could, I would really do that, but that would be mean in front of the halflings. So.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, the horses are coming with me. Sorry.
After I've fed them and petted them, I'll look to Trevor and we should go now. Sorry that I kept it.
Yeah, we need to catch back up. Yeah, but I know you wanted to, so yeah.
Quick question: how far is audience and Toby from us?
We're in the next town already.
Probably as long as the time we spent there sitting there feeding horses, going through their entire stock of what they have, you know.
Well, I'd say that they are 10 feet away, and you can easily see that audience is starting to be very impatient. And Tobiashi is wondering what's going to happen if you keep this up for a few more minutes.
I know, I'm just sitting here like, I'm calm about it, but I don't know about him. I'm just like...
Yeah. Well, as we
I
walk
could
away,
feel the
Trevor
heat
will take
hit
a couple of apples and toss one to each of them there. There.
Catch it. I'll bite right into it. Oh, that's good.
They're winter apples, so they're probably a bit bitter.
And I'm just happily jumping past them and keep going because I think I did something really good helping those people.
The ones I used to practice with.
Yeah.
So yeah, for those
as she
wondering
walks,
what winter apples might look like, because this island is so far to the south, winter is very mild. This is why a lot of things can keep growing through those time, and especially if they had help from druids, it's probably possible to extend or make sure there is a second harvest of a lot of things. Because I know that if there one day we have a lot of followers, someone is going to send me a message saying it doesn't make sense that apples can be found just that. So I'm just telling you. So go ahead. It's Dungeons and Dragons, druids and magic, and all that stuff. So
it's a fantasy world. You can make apples grow as big as pumpkins year round if you wanted to, you know.
Especially with druids.
Yeah.
So go ahead. What were you saying?
Oh, I was going to say, as we catch back up to the group, I'll just tell audience and Toby, don't worry, that was the last caravan that I could see as far as Tao could see from up there. So hopefully no more delays.
Oh, it's fine. Yeah.
Right, I'll just look
Some
up
time
at
to
the sky and
spare.
be like, I just want to reach the next town before dark.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, by what the halfling just told me, we're probably gonna have to stay outside for tonight.
Depending on where you want to go. If you're going to the next trading town, yes. If you're going to another town, maybe not. It's
Okay,
because
well,
you said
if
you
we're
were
going to the next trade.
It's because you said you were going to the next city.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I would say when we got to the fork in the road, just real quick, a real 5-minute thing, I would, just tell everybody to stay here for just a second, send Tao straight up to see which way was the nearest town or whatever.
All right, so you all...
It will probably say on the sign.
Yeah. So you all keep going. You say goodbye to everyone in the caravans. Most of them just waves by. You can actually even see a halfling child in the last wagon just waving to you all. Bye.
I'll just wave.
Yeah.
My back's
Tao.
down, so.
This time I want to be behind everybody. So I'll be
Alright.
behind Trevor and Valter.
All right. Far
Like
behind
I'll say
or
like
just
10
behind
feet.
them?
No, like 10 feet.
All right. So it takes about another 45 minutes before you actually get to the next Y-shaped
in the road, yeah.
intersection. One of them keeps going directly in front of you, and the other one veers to your left.
I'll just say,
What
give
does the
me a
sign
quick.
say?
Yeah.
Are there any signs?
Yes, there are. One signs does point toward this being, if you keep going straight forward, this being the merchant road leading to the next trade city, which is called... Hold on. Milsud.
Wait, say that again. What is it called?
Milsud. Mil like a mill, and sud
Sud.
like soot, but with a D at the end.
Okay.
So this is the next trading city. If you take the branch to the north, which does go on a lot less frequently traveled road, you see a small again forgot sign. Finally, it's back in my head. A sign. All right, saying that it is the village. Yes, the village of Grey Cove.
Okay.
Alright. How close is it to getting dark?
About 4 hours.
Okay.
I think we should head towards the village, and it's going the more correct direction. Where we,
Yes.
where
Yep. Works for me.
Yeah. I'll just
Alright.
follow everyone because I can't hear. Well, I'd assume, depending on how loud you're talking.
Yeah, I don't think we're being quiet about it. Not trying to hide anything. Just trying to figure it out as a party.
Well, I'd say with Tobiashi, with your passive perception and your passive insight, I'd say if they're within 15 feet of you, you can probably hear what they're saying.
Okay. That's good to know.
You have a very good passive perception. Unless they're really whispering. But in that case, you can lip read.
Yeah.
Alright. I'll tell audience you seem to be in the biggest hurry, so lead the way.
All right. I will.
All right.
Alright, I'll just follow since I know what's happening.
Yep.
All right. So you all veer toward the town of Grey Cove. And we're going to take the break here as the sky slowly darkens for a little bit of rain on your way. So we're all going to see you back in 10 minutes. Have a good break. Bye.
Have a good break.
Hello, everyone.
Hey.
Sorry, I think we were 1 or 2 minutes late. So, when we left, our party was preparing to make a few hours of walk in what appeared to be coming rain. And I would say, are you paying attention to the road, or are you just trying to hurry up? For audience, I believe the answer is easy, but for the rest of you, I don't know, maybe you don't want to walk in the rain.
I'll be looking around. It doesn't really matter.
All right?
Same here.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to go with an assisted perception roll. So who wants to roll for the
Perception
Tobiashi?
or
I'll roll perception.
And you have advantage because you're being helped by everyone except audience.
Okay.
Yeah, when it's a group thing, it's easier to go with giving advantage to someone.
Okay, so the first one was 5. The second one is... Wait, it's perception?
Yeah.
20. 18 plus 2.
All right. So you walk for about 2 hours and a half. For the last half hour, the rain starts to fall. It is a mild rain. It's not something that you would need a little bit of time before it really gets you soaking wet. Your clothes almost have time to dry by itself before they start to be. But rain has started to fall, but you do not meet anything else on the road. And right as you would estimate, the sun is starting to slowly set. It's not quite there yet. You see the first houses of the small town of Grey Cove. It is a town that is literally on the side of the mountain chain, which covers most of the western side of Estrin. It is easy to see why it is called Grey Cove, as it almost feels like it lives perpetually in the grey shadows of the mountains. It is a small farming community, so the center of town is mostly 5 or 6 buildings, usually the main ones, a place of worship, an inn, someone that does metal work, almost a blacksmith, but not necessarily. And 1 or 2 houses that right now you do not exactly know what they're for. But you are entering there. It is a small farming community, so there are no walls or anything protecting it. It is a small village.
Well, it looks like we're here, guys.
Yeah. I mean, is there any buildings that are larger or look more official or anything, like a town hall or anything? I know it's a small village, so.
I was just the audience.
I would have said more like a tavern, but yeah.
Well, yes. Actually, at this time of the day,
Anything.
the tavern would be starting to have a few customers, mostly those who coming back from the field or hunting. Hoping to relax a little bit before having to go back home. So the tavern is the easiest one to find, as the windows are lit up. You do see what looks like something between a temple and a church. Not big. It really fits the size of the town, village. Sorry. What could pass as a blacksmith seems to be closed. Well, actually, more like the shutters of the building are closed, but you can still hear faint sound coming from inside. Yeah, that's the biggest buildings that you'll have in town. The 2 other buildings are the size of houses, normal houses. You would expect it's probably something people that makes daily wares, but it is their own home, and it's just that they live at the center of town because this is where they basically find everything that they need to. As with all small villages, all of the other houses are usually directly on the plot of land that they are tending to, or very close to it.
I would look to the audience and be like, well, where do you think we should go, since you guided me through the last city?
I'll say we should probably just head to the inn, get some rooms, and spend the night here, and then get underway again tomorrow.
I'm slowly losing you with your sound.
I said
Aha.
we should probably just head to the inn and then, get a good rest, get ready, and head out again early tomorrow.
I look back at Trevor and Valter to see what their reaction is.
Sounds like a plan to me.
Yeah.
Well, let's head off then. And I'll let audience guide us.
All right. I mean, I'll head over to the inn then.
All right. Well, you go to the inn. The inn, which is called the Shadow Under the Mountain. And there is a big sign of a barrel. Well, actually, the sign looks like it's been made from a barrel. And the name is written on it. The Shadow Under the Mountain. When you get in, you see a few people, mostly humans. Maybe 2 or 3 of them. 2 of them are talking on the table. The other one is close by the hearth for a little bit of warmth. You probably say that he probably was hunting or fishing, something like that. There actually is a small pond nearby. And you see 2 halflings talking in another corner. There is the tavern owner, which is behind the counter. A human, middle-aged. He's slowly polishing as best as he can whatever mugs and plates and utensils that are at his disposal. Looks like a slow night.
All right, I'll walk up to him.
Alright, well, when he sees that you're walking directly for him, say, well, hello there, Mr. Dragons. What can I do for you tonight?
Greetings. Me and my traveling companions are looking for rooms for the night and perhaps a good dinner, as we've been on the road all day.
I can understand this, and you also seem to be a little bit wet. We will keep the fire going for a few more hours, so you can all just take in the heat, let your clothes dry. It's a little bit faster than if you let it dry in your room. Under the mountain, it's a bit humid. So for the night, I'm sorry we don't have very fancy lodging here. It's going to be 7 copper for 1 person a night.
That'll be all right.
Very well. I will warn.
Any copper?
7.
7.
Okay.
It is the cheapest inn that you can find. It is a town. It is a small town. It is not a city or a village. And for the meal, we actually have something very warming to the heart, if you want. We have hearty soup. But we also have something a little bit more sustaining for, and he looks at you, audience, those who need a little bit more meat in their diet. So, depending on which one you want, we'll just add it to your tab.
I'll get the more hearty meal. Thank you.
I expected as much. I've seen quite a few of your kind in my days. I've actually lived in a larger city. I know how much you can eat.
I'll chuckle at that.
So how wet are my clothes? Just asking.
You're not soaking wet, but it is, in between wet and sticking to your body. Not enough to be just, oh damn, it's all sticking to my body, but you feel the humidity in your clothes. It has taken them.
Where's the fire in the room?
Close to one of the 4 walls, actually. If you enter from that side, I'd say to your left from the entrance on the wall, you see a hearth with one person already warming himself by it. There's quite a lot of room. There is even a table just behind him. He seems to have just turned around and is taking in the heat of the fire.
Wait, a hearth? What is that?
A fireplace, but just a little bit bigger, I believe.
Okay. All right. Just making sure. I was like, oh my gosh.
I might have not been pronouncing it right. I am not sure.
No, hearth is correct. Hearth
All right.
is correct.
Yeah. I
Good.
just don't know that word, so.
Okay.
I'm gonna walk over there since I heard him talking about the fire, and you'll see me start taking off my my like robe thing, and I'll hang it like right there above the hearth. And
Yes, there is a place that you can hang something right next to it.
okay, and I'll hang it right there and just sit there waiting for them to finish ordering their.
As you get there,
nightstand.
You even see that the other person enjoying the fire has even taken off his boot and he's drying them right beside the fire.
I'll sit next to him and say, how are you doing?
Good evening. Oh, hunting in the rain, that's never very good. Most of the animals don't stay outside when the heavy rain is coming, so I had to come back a little bit early. Didn't get much, but it's gonna be enough for tonight.
How is hunting? Is it a good trade or?
Well, next to the mountains, it's not exactly the most fruitful profession that you might try to undertake. A lot of the animals actually just come from the mountain, and well, mountain animals tends to be a bit more challenging than those you would find in the plain. So
Yeah, I'll just continue this like back and forth kind of small talk with them.
all right.
Their
So
thing,
you
and
talk
once I see
about-
them finish ordering their stuff, I'll go and order my thing.
So you talk about hunting animals in the mountains. Audience, you are served a plate with a little bit of meat, freshly cooked. It's even still warm. Bit of bread, and you can actually see a bit of the juices of the meat that have sort of filled the plate. There's a few. I'd say though everything that we have a lot of trouble determining if it's fruit or vegetable, but technically it's supposed to be fruit. But small tomatoes that you would probably estimate that have been heavily influenced by druidic magic. They seem to be overly ripe for the time of the year. So that usually means there's probably a druid nearby, and it is helping as best as he can or she can to the harvest of the city. You are served a mug with a little bit of ale, half a pint, and a little piece of bread on the side.
I will take it over to the fire, and I will actually remove my chainmail and, set it down with my clothes. So I'll basically go to the fact where, I'll leave my lower portion on, but I'll go shirtless because I don't want to feel it and just kind of warm my scales in front of the fire.
And just as he sits, he takes a position that is just.
Flex that six pack.
Yeah, and actually, with your strength, it's closer to a 9-pack.
He's got an 8.5 pack.
Oh, yes. Yes, with that strength, yeah, definitely. But with the constitution that he has, it's not exactly 100% visible. It is. It's a very good constitution, but you might actually have 1 or 2 more percent of fat that is optimal. But still, you look at it and you're convinced when you look at yourself that if there were women inside the room, they'd probably look at you. Not that you're interested in humans, but
No.
So audience is sitting next to the fire we're at, right?
Yep, with his plate in his hand.
Well,
and
actually, that silver-haired woman was a human, so.
and a monk, which means it's pretty hard to tell how old she actually is.
I love the fact that you say if there were women and then like Walter is like
Yeah, you got one in the party. I mean,
Yeah.
but
Well, actually,
Anyway,
you've
yeah.
never seen him shirtless, so I don't know. Maybe you will react to this. He is considerably more muscular than Trevor.
just a
I've
bit.
actually never
yeah.
seen that much.
So,
Well, she lived
Valtarian,
in a tribe of Dragonborn, so I'm sure she's probably seen something similar.
yeah, but they don't boast about it quite as much
Yeah.
as audience does.
So, what is Trevor and Valter doing?
That's what I was going to ask.
Well, I guess first he would go and take off his cloak and his jacket underneath and hang them up there to dry. That should be enough. I don't think his shirt would be wet after those 2 layers, would it?
There's maybe a little bit of humidity, but it's definitely not wet.
All right. He'll just unbutton the sleeves and just pull them up, just fold them back, probably like 1 or 2 turns there, and then probably just go up to the bar and order his food and a drink. And with the sleeves turned up, some people might be able to pick up something. So if you want to do any perception checks or anything.
Well, I'd say only Valtteri, because right now, audience and Tobiashi are not looking at you at all.
Yeah. Okay.
They are looking at the fire.
Yeah. Yeah, 'cause he wasn't really hanging around. He just put it up quick and then went back up to the bar. So.
perception.
Yes.
Mhm.
16.
16. I can barely hear you, but I heard it was
Yeah,
16.
you are quiet. So you tell me if that's good enough.
Yeah, it's not. It doesn't need something. It's not microscopic, but it's not
Yeah.
something that is like a tattoo. So no,
They're not as
16
dark
would be
as like a
enough.
tattoo, but they're definitely visible once the sleeves come up a little. But yeah, you just definitely see some what looks to be deep scars in his arms there. So, but then he'll just go up to the bar, probably order a soup and skip the ale, but ask them if they have wine. He's not an ale. He's not an ale guy. So
Well, he looks at you and says, well, yeah, we have, but it's a bit of a rare product. It's probably not going to be the cheapest thing you can buy. What are you hoping to buy?
I'm just looking just for a glass, just for my meal. How much?
He looks behind the counter. Well, we can say 1 silver.
For the meal and the wine, or
No, just the wine.
okay.
For the meal,
How much for this? How much for the soup then?
The soup, 3 copper.
Okay. All right, I will take that then.
And will you
All right.
also be staying tonight?
Yes, I will. Yeah, and I believe as long as you have the rooms, we'll all be staying in our own separate rooms. I didn't notice how big the inn was, so
It's not a big inn. it's the inn of a town, so they've
Probably got half a dozen rooms at that.
yeah, something like that. They have accommodation for probably what usually is traveling merchants.
Okay.
So
yeah, so there's plenty of
half a
room.
dozen,
Good.
maybe 10 at most.
Okay. Cool.
So it's 7 copper for a night.
Okay, yeah, I already deducted that earlier as soon as you said, so yeah, I'm all deducted
All
for
right.
Me
everything
too.
now. So
All right.
Yeah, so did I.
All right.
then he'll just sit at the bar and eat his meal.
All right. Valtteri?
I'm gonna put the 7 copper on the. I don't know what to call it. On the bar or
The counter, the bar.
reception.
Yeah,
I don't know.
You hand the innkeeper 7 copper.
Take it to the cash register,
And
Put it in the slot machines. No.
yeah. And how long is can you order food here? I'm gonna ask that there
How-
as well. And
How long?
how long can you get food?
Like how late,
Till they-
before
yeah.
they close
Okay.
the kitchen.
Well, you'd say, well, this is just a small town.
Yeah, that's why I'm asking.
We'd like it very much if you wouldn't order too much later than the. Good heavens! Why can't I'm stuck with these French name in my head? When the sun sets, dusk.
Okay.
Alright. I'm so very sorry.
Okay.
So not too long past dusk, maybe 1 or 2 hours.
Okay. Can I have the soup in like about half an hour?
Yeah, sure. There's no problem with that.
Okay. And 3 copper, was it right?
For the soup, yes.
Okay.
It is a hearty soup. It's not just vegetable and water.
Yeah.
You do see.
Okay. And I'm gonna also go to the fireplace. But I'm lightly sitting a little bit more away from the others, slightly feeling uncomfortable with everyone loosely
Well,
taking off their clothes, and I will only take off my coat
yeah.
and put it on where you can hang them up. And I quickly add the copper. And sit a little bit away from the others, slightly feeling uncomfortable. If you want to know why, you can try rolling on it, but yeah. She's not taking anything else off, not even her shoes.
That's all right. So, Valtteri, I'd say right now you are also feeling a little bit of playfulness coming from outside. Well, like someone else said, like another dungeon master said before me, I won't mention that you all attract a little bit of attention. I'd say a tiefling attracts attention, but a tiefling accompanied by a dragonborn and 2 humans, that tends to attract a little bit more attention.
Especially one with the owl sitting on the bar watching him eat there.
Yeah, and especially when someone gets close and he just turns his head the creepy way that all owls can. So, yeah, you attract attention. Everyone knows you're here, and they sort of react to the fact that you're here. But, audience, Dragonborn, he hasn't tried to kill anyone yet, so stereotypes would put him as being someone good, and he's in the same party as a tiefling, so that sort of gives you credit. So there's suspicion. Then they look at the Dragonborn and okay.
Either he's bad or she's good. So
I mean, we also have a monk with us, so...
Well, monk are usually more welcomed.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, in our team, it's not only a Dragonborn and a Tiefling where it's like, who is good, who would be good and who would be bad, but we also have a monk, so there's the higher chance of us being good.
If Trevor didn't have an owl on his shoulder, I'd say he's the one that looks the more normal of the group. But because of the owl, I'd say Tobiashi is the one that looks the most normal in the group.
I mean, I'm a Tiefling. How would I be able to look normal, to be honest?
Next
pick
to
up this
Dragonborn?
guy's self later on.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Dragonborn are more likely seen than a Tiefling.
Well, their reputation precedes them as either being very good or very bad. While Tiefling have mostly a reputation of mostly being bad or sometimes not so bad.
But not good.
Yeah, just different stages of bad, you know.
It's a spectrum, you know.
50 Shades of a Bad.
Yeah. Well.
But yeah, so...
going up.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, go on.
No, I was just... If anyone wants even to know, you can roll
So
insight
if
or
any of you is
perception.
curious about why Valtteri is not taking off her clothes, like everyone else, you can make a roll, or you can just keep on going. Good evening.
Yes.
Good.
It's
Probably
fine. I
wouldn't
was
even
gonna-
notice. He's got his back to the fire at the bar. So
I was going to talk to the
Sure.
audience right now, so like I was in the motion of doing it. I'd turn to the audience and I'll be like, so audience, since we have time, you want to play a little game?
Sure.
It's something that the masters at the monastery used to play with us to teach us a little bit more hand-eye coordination. I take a gold piece. I'll take a gold piece out of my pocket or pouch, wherever it's from.
Okay.
And I'm gonna put it in my hand, and I'll say, I'll give you 3 chances. If you could get it 1 time, I'll buy you a drink. If you get it 2 times, I'll get you a weapon, and 3 times, I'll help you spread your word about the dragons.
But you're already doing that.
I was only in that other city.
was it a permanent commitment?
It was because of the streetwalker.
You'll see audience do kind of the classic gamer lean, where like he was kind of sitting back, relaxing. He'll kind of do the thing. He sits up, kind of goes with a 45-degree angle, like. All right.
All right, it's on.
All right.
Alright, so I'll put the coin in my hand, and he has to try to take it from the palm of my hand before I close it.
Okay.
I have to ask one question. Are you using? I checked. Actually, I don't. I think I don't have to.
I was gonna say sleight of hand.
Yeah, no, that's what my question was to determine, but I had forgotten that sleight of hand was dexterity. So it's basically sleight of hand versus dexterity.
Wait, say that one for him.
But, well,
So
for you,
I'm using
Tobiashi,
sleight of
it's
hand.
sleight of hand, but
Oh.
audience doesn't have
Proficiency.
proficiency with sleight of hand.
Yep.
So for him, it's
Would it not be? No, that would be.
it's dexterity plus your modifier,
Yeah.
and whomever has the highest roll.
Alright, so the
Okay.
first time.
Right.
I said this kind of loud for people to hear.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, in that case, I didn't know, Tobiashi, you don't have the proficiency for sleight of hand. No, that's too bad.
Oh no, I don't. I don't have it for sleight. I took it for stealth.
Okay.
This will be pretty even rolls because I get +3 to dexterity.
Well, a lot
Oh,
of
yeah.
people don't seem to have heard you, but the person sitting next to you does turn around and look, and you see one of the halfling candidly making his way toward the table. You know, he's trying to not make it look like his curiosity has been piqued, but he's not hiding it well.
I guess would Trevor have heard it over at the bar?
A roll?
They said he wasn't actually being quiet about it, so.
Would Trevor have heard?
13 passive.
Yeah, you would have heard most of it.
It's something going on. I wouldn't go up there right there to him, but I'd just pull up, probably the next table away from him or whatever, and sit down in the chair to finish my meal and cross my leg and just put towel on my knee there and watch.
Yeah, sure. And Valtteri, you are literally a few steps away from them, so you heard this.
Yeah, I'm just still in my own. Well, not really in my thoughts, but I'm not really.
So you are in your bubble.
I'm not really interested in this. I'm like kind of looking into the fire and like really sitting like as far as possible, but still getting the warmth from the fire.
All right. So
Turning invisible.
Tobiyashi has the coin in his hand. Audience, Tobiyashi, make your rolls.
All right. Let's go, big money. 16.
That's a 14. So you
Audience managed to snatch the coin from your hands.
That's number one.
Say, well, okay, well, I'll buy you a drink. I'll go up to the person and the bartender, and I'll buy him a drink.
Do you buy him just a small drink, or do you buy him
Good enough for a dragon.
What?
Good enough for a dragon.
Big enough for a dragon. Are you attempting to get him drunk, or just giving him a reward?
No, yeah, I want him to get drunk.
All right. So he comes.
You're gonna need more than one big drink for that. You're gonna need a few.
The innkeeper asks you for 5 copper.
Okay.
And he gives you a full to the brim pint. You know, like in Lord of the Ring, when the halfling comes back with his pint that is so full, he's having trouble keeping it stable and setting it on the table. So, audience, you see Tobiyashi come back with a large pint filled to the brim.
All right.
Do you check it down or slowly sip it? Sorry.
I'll kind of give Toby a wink and I'll say, like, I think you probably need the advantage since I won the first one, and I'll flip the coin back to him and then I'll chug the beer.
All right. I'll have you make a Constitution roll.
Yep. It's fair. You are lucky. You're lucky, Tobiyashi. I rolled awfully. I rolled the 2 plus 2, so that's only a 4. So it hit me hard.
That's great.
Oh. Fortunately for you.
Chug that thing. I downed it.
Fortunately for you, he didn't have time to eat much of his meal. So it sort of hits him a little bit hard. And condition would be the same to having 1 point of exhaustion.
Okay,
What
so
is that?
So it's probably just disadvantage. I probably now roll with disadvantage on my checks because I'm just a little more drunk.
Okay. I put the coin back on my hand and I get ready for the next one.
All right, I'll roll with disadvantage.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I have it here. Exhaustion. Disadvantage on ability check. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
You did your job. You got me drunk.
I did it.
Well, he's not completely drunk.
Just a little tipsy,
All right,
just enough
9.
to throw him off.
That's a 21.
I rolled a 9. Okay, well, I would have lost anyway. I would have lost on that one anyway.
You barely see his hand moving. You just raise your hand to reach, and his hand is already gone. And he just
there's that one.
flips the coin between his fingers and says, Go ahead, say something.
This is your last chance. I go flip it in my hand again, and I catch it, and I'll wait for him to catch it again.
I say, how about this? We're each at 1-1 right now. This is to see who gets it. Double or nothing. I will buy you a weapon if you win this one. But if I win this one, you have to still spread the word of the dragons everywhere we go.
At this point,
like a fair
Trevor
deal.
just sets his bowl. So at this point, Trevor just sets his bowl on his table and just starts writing in his journal. Just another pissing contest. He's done lost interest now. You know.
See, it sounds like a
Stakes.
deal.
Stakes are high. All right.
Oh yeah, ready?
Yep, I'm on with disadvantage. Ooh, damn! I wish I wasn't. That would have been a really good roll.
Still doing
All
that.
right. 13.
16.
Ooh, I would have beat you.
It is
I would've got a
close.
20.
It
I
is
would have got
close.
a 20.
You. It is close enough that you reach for the coin and you're not sure. You do look in your hand because you're almost certain that you managed to touch it, but there's nothing. And you see Tobiashi opening his hand and he still has the coin.
A little
Or
surprised
kind
I
of
have it
clap
too.
on
I'm
the
just like,
shoulder. I'm like, you got me. I'll buy you a weapon next time.
yeah, good game. I flipped the coin and let him catch it, and I'll say, you don't need to buy me anything. It was just fun playing with you. And then I'll go to the innkeep and ask for a room.
All right.
I already minus the copper.
That's all right. All right. So.
Was it a coin or was it a copper coin that we were playing with?
Oh, it was a gold. It was a gold piece.
Oh, so you just flipped me a gold piece. Okay.
Yeah.
So you still
I'll still
managed
buy
to
you
win a
one.
gold piece.
I'm honorable. I
And a
lost
drink.
fair and Yeah. I lost fair and square. I'll buy him a weapon.
Oh yeah. He said you don't have to. I mean,
I still will, though.
While all of this is happening, I'm actually slowly starting to try drawing a map of the pathway that we've now taken from the port city all the way here.
Okay. I'll try and cut the portion out of my map to send it to you.
Good luck. It would be the way from port city to the first.
Yeah, I know
Fork.
exactly where you are. I
Yeah.
have the map in front of me.
I have a question. How much
Yes.
more time do we have till it's dark? Dark.
Completely dark, I'd say you have between 3/4 of an hour and an hour. The sun has started to set right now, so like I said, it's roughly an hour.
Okay. All right.
But it's raining outside, so it is. The sun hasn't set, but it's fairly dark because it's the end of the day and it is raining.
I'm gonna go to the innkeep and I'm gonna ask him after I ask him about the room. Do you know of any bakeries around here? Any anywhere where they cook food?
Bakeries. Well, there are no. This is just a small town. There are no official shop.
Or maybe like a candy shop?
This isn't a big town. You could probably go see old Edith in the morning. She usually bakes a few things for the children's of the village, but we don't have anything that big here.
Yeah, I was just wondering. Thank you for letting me know, and
Sure.
thank you for letting me stay the night, and I'll be on my way. And I go back to the fire and just warm up there, and till I go back to my room and sleep.
All right. Anything else from Valtteri, audience, and Trevor?
I'm still sitting there, drying up.
I guess Trevor will go back up to the bar and talk to the barkeeper for a little bit, take his bowl back up there, turn in, still drinking on his wine. But, he's taking it a lot slower with the wine tonight. Yeah. But I just gonna step up there and say, yeah, I'm a bit of a scholar. I try and learn as much as I can. I'm small as this town is. I'm certain you don't have a library, but anything you can tell me about the town? Anything interesting happen around here?
Well, it's not a very old town. We've been established here as a town for almost three generations. So my grandfather was among the first settlers. Gods have his soul. He passed away a few winters ago, but it's a very small, relatively new. We decided to establish ourselves at the base of the mountain because it's usually a lot safer. The worst that we have here are goblins from time to time, but we are close enough to the city of Soutien to have support within a day if there's anything very bad happening. So it's fairly quiet. There are maybe a few more families living here other than what you've met when you enter. They mostly live a bit of a way out, maybe 10 minutes of walk. You can find the first house. It's mostly farming community. There is a small pond, so we also a natural pond, not one made from the Lord when he made this town. So it's a natural pond, quite large actually, and we have interesting fish. The reason why the first settlers came here was actually because of the pond. There is a rare variety of again, I forgot the name in English. Flowers that bloomed in ponds.
Lilies?
Lilies.
Yeah, I think it's that.
Lilies, cattails.
You mean the purple, white, and red ones?
Usually white or yellow.
Yeah, water lilies.
All right. There you go.
Are they Japanese? No, I'm trying.
Doesn't sound anything like the one in French. So, yeah, lilies. There's actually a different variety of lilies blooming in the pond. Different variation of color. It's not...
lotus. Sorry.
Maybe. It could possibly... I'll have to check, sorry.
I was just saying.
It's either lilies or lotus. It's one or the other. It's actually a different small variation. And those blooming in the ponds, you actually have small black and brown dots inside of the flowers. It was special. No one's seen it grow anywhere else. So the first settlers thought it was a good omen, and this is why they started to build here. But that's about it. That's about our town.
Yeah. Well, how often do you think? How often do you guys have problems with those goblins? With the help, have they been getting dwindled down? Or is the assistance helping in killing some of them off? Or
well, usually they send a fair amount of troops 2 times a year, just to patrol to make sure that the population doesn't grow out of proportion. But we usually don't get any problem. But the next town, they sometimes do have problems with goblins. And actually, I've heard a rumor right now, and I don't know if it's related to goblins, but I've heard a rumor that they actually had problem with their livestock. It's been going on for about a week. Not too sure. Don't have much more information than that. But usually the goblins stay away. There, after all, is quite an impressive colony of dragonborns and dwarves running around in those mountains, so they sort
Yeah.
of keep to themselves. Try not to get too much attention. You know, the goblins aren't
Yeah.
the sturdiest of creature.
Yeah. So this next town, what was the name of it again, and which direction? Because we're heading northeast, so we might be stopping through if it's in that direction.
Well, actually, yes. If you take if you take the northeast exit of the city of the town, of our noble humble village, you actually will go straight to their town. It also is a small farming community. However, they're not directly under the mountain, but the ground is not very fertile for farming. So they mostly started raising cattle and sheep. This is why they chose those trade instead of simply farming. And like I said, I heard they have a little bit of problem. The name of the next town, if I'm not mistaken, you just asked. Well, similar to ours, to the Grey Cove. Actually, Den is only called the. No, that's not right. Hold on. That's another
Get the
town.
notes.
That's another town that I had in mind, much further.
Okay.
Okay. The Greening Mountain Foot town. It's mostly called that because of that. It's instead of the green area under the town, the Greening Hills.
Okay. Well, like I said, we got a location we're heading to northeast, so I'll stop by. Yeah, we're a unique group. We have our own unique skills, so we try and help out where we
Yes.
can. So
Yes, you do seem to have a very interesting group.
yeah, and yeah, that seemed the looks that you was given the tiefling. Don't worry, she's a good person. Loves animals, so yeah, don't worry about her. She's fine.
Well, I'm pretty sure she's okay. She actually looks a lot like a druid that comes by every few days. So I'm pretty sure that she's either one of them or priests of their kind.
Is it a
So-
tiefling? Is it a tiefling as well, or?
No. We think it's a half elf, but just because he has a bit of a slenderness to his demeanor, but you never know. He might just be.
Yeah.
He doesn't have the small pointed ears that half elves do, but he's a little bit slender for his for a human.
Yeah, and he'll just say, "I'm full human," and he'll pull his shirt tight and just show how skinny his arms are. So yeah, doesn't necessarily have to be elvish. So just might be a little thin, but all right. But I won't keep you from your duties. I'll just see if I get a little info about the town. Like I said, I try and learn a little bit everywhere I can. So appreciate your time.
No problem. It's fairly calm right now, and I know we're getting close to the solstice of light, but we're a bit out of the way, so
Yeah.
it remains a little bit calm, even though it's gonna get pretty busy down the Merchant Road.
Yeah, so we'll probably be heading that direction in the morning. About how long of a travel is it to the next one on foot, would you say?
About 3/4 of a day.
Okay.
If
easy
you
enough.
left early enough, you might even be able to get there in time for dinner if you get early enough.
All right, yeah. Might try that. I'll have to check with them and see if they wanted to do anything here before we left in the morning. So, but all right. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate your time.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Then he goes back to polishing whatever he has to polish. He seems a little bit bored, but not too much.
Yeah, yeah. But he'll finish his wine, leave his bowl and cup there, and I guess he'll go back to the fireplace, see if his stuff's dry by then. I imagine it's probably been a little while now, so.
Yeah, with the talking, the games, and everything. Yeah, putting your clothes just beside the hearth of the inn, you probably have something very dry very quickly.
All right. Yeah, I guess he'll go pick them up and just fold them over. He won't bother putting them on because he's going to be going to bed here soon anyway. So just fold them over one of his arms there and just go sit back down and just watch over everybody, see what everybody else is doing in the meantime.
All right.
Not
And I
necessarily
see
talk
that.
to anybody, just watch.
All right, then I see that everyone sent me a whole lot of flowers
Yes.
on our chat. Yes, this is the flower I was talking
Yes,
about.
no water.
What's it called in French?
Un nénuphar.
Wow.
That's really good.
Yeah, I heard the Discord spam, but I didn't want to switch in our conversation here. Just finish it first.
So yeah, you still see Val awkwardly sitting really on the as far as possible from the others, but still getting the warmth from the fire.
Yeah, and he won't go sit down next to her. He'll be like a table or two away. He'll give her space. I'm sure he could tell that she's like just wants her own time there. So,
A question for the DM. What was that old lady's name again?
Old Edith?
Old Edith?
Edith, yeah. I know, it's a classic name, but I couldn't help it.
Okay.
It's just
Oh, yeah.
she married to a guy named Archie.
No, I'd say she currently lives alone. I believe she's a widow.
Is she like a crazy cat, like a crazy old cat lady?
No, she's a
With
crazy
a name
cookie
like
lady.
that, it could be.
Oh,
She makes cookies all days, and she always gives them
Yes,
to
the
the
candy house.
children.
But I guess while everybody's sitting there, he will mention, the next village is in our same direction, and he'll mention the name again. I didn't write it down because I was going to go back and watch the episode later and jot it down. But that's how I make my notes, so it doesn't take me out of the thing too much there. So yeah, he'll mention the town name and say it's about three quarters of a day walk, and apparently they have a goblin problem. So if we stay focused and stay ahead of schedule, might be able to help them out with that when we get there. So
Yeah, maybe. I just have to go check. Have you guys heard of any like candy places nearby? Many famous candy people that you know of? Bakeries, anything like that?
we're in the middle of nowhere in a little small town.
you might have should have looked for the candies when we was back in the port city there.
Well, I mean, if you guys ever thought, if you
I
guys
never.
ever heard of anything?
What is candy?
Well, I'd say you can all. Oh boy, what would it be?
I don't think that Val would know what candy is, to be honest.
Trevor played. He's done a lot of travel.
Trevor.
So,
Audience and Trevor should be able to tell me.
Audience
if
and
they've heard
Trevor,
anything
sure,
that-
but I'd say Valtteri. You can't make candy with honey.
Yeah, but I don't think that they would call it candy in her tribe.
Yeah.
They probably had their own names for that.
I rolled a natural 16, so you tell me what modifier I need to put with it here.
I'd say history. It's the most relevant one to this.
History,
Because
that's pretty
you're
good.
trying
That's
to
a
recall
4,
what
so
you've
that's a
heard.
20. So,
All right. Audience, did you roll for this or?
or does he even care about candy? I don't know.
What do you know about candy?
I'm just not. I'm kind of drunk right now. Just kind of like
Your character or
That
you in
one-
real life?
That one pint just hit
no,
him.
my,
right
my,
in
ca-
there.
my,
No, his
My
character is
character.
drunk. He's tired. This is the difference.
Yeah.
Same result, but
Conflict.
I am not drunk right now.
Yeah. You can just tell when it's getting close to the end of the session and he just starts fading back there. Yeah.
Now he's like slowly becoming one with the floor.
So wait, what did you roll?
so all right, Trevor. With what you rolled, you don't know any brand or anything like that, but you'd say that the anything under a town would not have anything that's made out of candy or sweets. So a village, no. A town, possibly, especially trading towns, and of course cities.
Yeah. Did he say the next one coming up was more of a village or a town? I don't
It was a
remember.
village, very
Okay.
similar to this one.
Okay, I thought so. I just wanted to make sure. Yeah, he'll say, yeah, we're gonna. If you're looking for that kind of stuff, you'll have to find a little bit bigger of an area. And he said the next one coming up was about this size. So if you're looking for something like that, it's probably going to be a few days. If we
Okay.
even come across a town that size, I'm not sure what's ahead yet.
Okay, I was just wondering if you guys heard anything.
Yeah,
And
no, I've seen it. It's usually in bigger areas,
I'm-
not quite this small.
I'm looking at Toby like, what do you need candy for?
Oh well, I have a plan for that. The potion that audience gave me, but you'll see when it's done.
The
Potion of poison?
Yeah, and I'm gonna turn around and go to my room to go to
He's
sleep.
going to make special candies for the children.
Yeah.
And about that time, Trevor would take his journal out and make a quick little note in there. Nobody knows what, and then just shut it back up.
What?
That was the most sketchy thing I've ever seen.
Yep, that's why Trevor was making a note. Nobody knows, but he was writing, "Do not take candy from Toby."
At least you know it's candy.
Yeah.
In fact, actually, audience is gonna laugh like exactly like I just did and actually say pretty much that same thing. 'Cause it's kind of true.
I'm like, just don't. Okay, this is
Just
so you guys
thinks
don't
it in
filter
his
my
head
bag.
and laughs out loud at the concept there. Yeah.
You guys will fear any candy in my bag.
Newsflash: crazy monk person killed children with poison candy.
Yep. Mass murder is it's the medieval version of here. Everybody drink the Kool-Aid.
No, but I think what you really have to see in your head is what this inn looks like. You have pretty much quiet. Everyone's been quiet for a few minutes. Then Tobiashi comes toward the other and asks for about candy, and then Trevor responds, and then you hear audience say out loud, "That was the sketchiest things I have ever heard." And he goes back to watching the fire.
Yeah, after all of that happened, I'll go to my cloak, take it because it's probably dry,
Yeah.
put it back on, and go up to my room without saying anything.
So you notice when you get up that everyone is looking at you after this.
Yeah, I went to my room to go to sleep.
You notice everyone looking at you as audience spoke
Like,
up.
I'll just ignore it, lightly feeling uncomfortable. Don't go to my room.
And Trevor, you even see Tao slowly turning his head toward you.
Yeah, that was an interesting note to end the night on. But yeah, I think it's time to go to sleep. And yeah, I think you might You're a little drunk there, big man. I recommend you go ahead and get some sleep as well.
All right.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe tone those comments down a little bit. We've got a little bit of attention here.
You get into your room and you see a little piece of candy on your bed.
Yeah, a little candy on your pillow there.
And it's actually from the inn that they put on, and and you think like,
And it's green. No.
They call me the Candyman.
Oh.
the Candyman can.
Brightens up your day. For 2.5 minutes.
Well, as long as till the poison starts kicking in.
That's why I said 2.5 minutes. So, you all go to the audience. Do you still stay there?
No,
Keep watching the fire.
I will kind of grab my chainmail and shirt. I will grab my chainmail and shirt. I'll kind of struggle with the second of trying to put back on my shirt. Give up. Just grab all my stuff and just kind of walk up to my room still shirtless.
Dragging his sword behind him.
Fuck it.
So you see everyone turning their head as you move through the room and up the stairs.
Wait, how many people are there?
Well, when you
I was gonna
said
say
that,
besides us down there, yeah.
when you said that, there was probably around 10, 12 people inside.
With or
Oh,
without
jeez.
us?
Yeah, without you.
Oh damn.
So basically, half of the town heard
Yeah, it was a.
the
Yeah.
Dragonborn say, "That was the sketchiest thing I have ever heard."
I'm a monk. They'll forget about it.
Yeah, let's try
And
to
now
get
I'm
to...
just walking up shirtless to my room.
Yeah, the little shirtless thing didn't work out well for anything, so oh well. But yeah, Trevor will get back in his room, lay his stuff out on a bench or whatever they got in there, and put towel on a chair or whatever, read his book, go to sleep.
As long as the boys don't get once so drunk that they all just take off their tops and make a competition, everything is alright.
Trevor wouldn't participate in that. He was one, he would lose miserably. And
Audience-
two, he's
audience
above
is-
that kind of shit.
Audience is way
Even
ahead
drunk.
of any of you in muscles.
But
I'll put
in a
up a
drunk
fight,
state,
don't
you
worry.
do stuff that you wouldn't do.
I mean, audience, you would see him being taken as the model for a statue. That's the kind of muscle that he has.
I would have to dodge and hit him so many times.
Yeah.
You just get one good punch on me, I'd be like, there you go.
Mhm.
So you all go to your rooms, unless someone wants to do something before they fall asleep.
It's a double backflip.
I mean, I'm passing out. I'm basically just collapsing on my.
Just walks into the room and right onto the bed.
I'm watching the stars and the moon, if I can see them, because it was raining and it's probably
Yeah,
cloudy.
it's still raining.
Oh, it's still raining.
Yeah.
I look out the side of the window. Can I see anything?
Make a perception roll.
I've rolled so many perceptions rolled today that I already know what my modifier is.
That's good.
I rolled a 16.
A 16. You look outside and you still feel this feeling of playfulness, and you can actually see splashes inside small puddles, but there's doesn't seem to be anything making those splashes. They just appear.
Probably the rain.
Big raindrops.
Oh yeah,
It's like-
I didn't think we'd have windows there, but yeah, if there's a window, I guess while he's reading his book, he'd put towel in the windowsill. Just
Well, it's mostly openings with shutters, so
yeah,
it's not like it's not a glass window.
yeah. Well, if it's not raining too hard, he'd open them up enough to perch him there, just reminiscent of his orphan days while he reads his book. Then he'd go to sleep. Bring him back in, shut the thing, and then go to sleep.
All right. Audience, I think you said something.
No, I just rolled my wellness check again to see if I regained hit points because we're about to do a long rest,
Yes.
which I did not.
Well,
Maybe you should modify that a little more. Like every day you don't get it, you reduce the DC just a little bit until you succeed. Yeah.
well, except when there's something that in the story that makes sense. He goes to bed completely, partially drunk, so he sort of missed a bit of the bed, sort of stub his toe on the chair, and
Although, I do have a question about long rest. Can I use a hit die and regain a hit die?
yes, of course.
There
Okay,
you
well
go.
then I'll just do that. So I'm back to full anyway because
Okay.
I'd still be at 2
Yeah.
then.
There you go.
Okay, I'm finally back to full. I'm at 21 for like 2 days.
Like they're 2 days later. Yeah.
Slightly bleeding.
No, wait, no. I've been sitting at 21 since the fight with the pirate captain. I've been sitting there for like
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
it's like
Yeah, because Val offered to heal you. You know, she could have done it tonight too before you went to sleep.
I mean,
yeah.
no.
I asked if he was hurt. He never said anything that he was.
Well,
So
3 hit points for his maximum is probably
Yeah.
just a place where he feels it's a bit tender, but not much more. You know.
Okay.
Probably when he removed his shirt, you notice a little black spot or whatever discoloration
bruise or
that Dragonborn
something.
have.
like blue, purplish.
But now it's gone.
Rusty. Or
I mean, it's on
rust color.
scales. I don't know if scales bruise. I don't know.
I
Well, the
mean,
brass might have a little tarnish on it or something. Yeah.
Did they break? Would scales break?
Yeah,
you-
actually, I think that's a good point. The scale would probably break and not bruise.
I think you can actually break them if you have a weapon that is specifically for breaking, like dragon scales.
Yeah. Well, in 5th edition, Dragonborn don't get a bonus to their AC because of their scale. So basically, this means that the scale is too thin. It breaks too easily to provide protection against a weapon, but probably protection against small cuts and bruises if he, I don't know, tried to take a rose from a bush. The thorn would probably just glide off his scale.
Probably wouldn't get splintered. Okay, maybe he could get splinters. I don't know. It's hard.
Well, splinters can get between the scales.
Yeah.
So, everyone goes to sleep, falls
Yep.
asleep.
I mean,
yes.
I would have done something else, but it's already
Yes,
pretty
go ahead.
late. I'm actually trying to find Trevor's room.
Trevor's room.
Yes.
All right. Make. Well, you didn't see where he was. You went after him. So.
Or in cahoots, she's gonna deliver the candy to you.
I'd say make a. Well, what do you want to do? You don't want to walk down the hallway trying to see if you can recognize a sound that betrays him, or do you want to just actively look at the doors, listen at the doors, see if one has been opened? Trevor, you're muted.
I was going to say, first off, if she did bring him any candy, after that conversation, he would definitely ask her where it came from.
So,
And I think even though he trusts her, he would still insight check it as well.
Where would I get candy from?
Yeah, exactly.
so Valtteri, what are you trying to do?
I'm
find
actually
him.
like trying to listen, like trying to find his iconic snoring that I've heard.
Then that would be perception.
Okay. Good thing it's perception. 17 plus 21.
All right. Well, you wait for about an hour. Make sure that everyone's asleep, or at least him. And you walk down the hall, and you, with a 21, you actually do hear From behind the door, a familiar snore.
I knock on the door.
Oh, okay. I believe that's a perception roll with disadvantage. Trevor,
Yeah.
you woken up.
Alright. Yeah, that's good. Hold on. 12 and 16 plus what's perception? Plus 3, so 15.
15 succeeds. That was the DC that I placed. So you are woken up gently, not abruptly. You just what?
I say, who's there?
It's me.
Do these doors have locks on them or anything? Or are they just...
Yes, you had a key, so you could have
Okay.
locked it.
Alright, I'll get up. Yeah, I guess he'd at least have a shirt off while sleeping. So put a shirt on at least. Not really clothes at all, but then answer the door.
All right. Valtteri, the door opens.
Sorry if I woke you. Can we talk? Or is it a bad situation right now?
No, I'm fine. Yeah, come on and sit down. He just kind of barely got his eyes open there, but he just probably fell asleep.
So you don't have a lot of option to sit down. There's one chair, one desk, and a bed.
Yeah, you just pick one, I'll sit on the other.
Okay, I guess I'll take the chair.
Alright. Here we go and put it back down on the bed.
I have noticed before that you have a few scars on your arms.
Yeah, well, actually, since he didn't close his shirt all the way, you'll actually probably notice some on like his chest and stuff too. But yeah, he's like, yeah, I've had those for a while now, but I'm not really sure where they came from. After my sickness and all, it was one of those memory lapses. I said that some things are fuzzy. I don't really know where they came from, so never really tried to hide them or anything, but just with the clothes I wear, it just normally covers them up, so, but yeah, I'm not really sure, honestly, where they came from, but he'll pull up the sleeve where you can see, and they're going up his arm. I mean, and they look like they were pretty deep, an inch or so, probably at some point.
How are you able to not feel uncomfortable like people seeing them?
Yeah, it is what it is. I can't change them, so I just have to accept them. I mean, I've been asked, and I don't know the answer, but hopefully some point I'll figure it out, but I'm guessing hopefully as time goes on after the sickness, maybe some of these memories will start coming back, and I can fill in the gaps, but I don't worry too much about it. I mean, you've seen how arrogant I am. I don't really give a shit what other people think. Just gotta accept you for who you are, and if other people don't, fuck them.
You see, like, Val thinking about something, and like she's slowly drifting away with her thinking, but still listening to you.
Okay. I'm gonna say if she like completely zones out, I think you'd be like, hey, it's still there, But he'll just let her zone out, and he's like, I mean, well, where'd that come from? I mean, I know you probably seen him when I rolled up my sleeves, but I know it's not probably really a common thing to be seen, but just.
I guess I'm just trying to find my own confidence.
Okay. Well, that's why I expressed my interest. You know, maybe I'll help you find it eventually.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, confidence. Yeah, don't sweat it. You just gotta, you know what you can do. Just be confident with that. You know, everybody has their strengths. Mine is lack of strength. You know, but we each have our talents. So you know what yours are. Definitely got away with animals. That was interesting today. But yeah, you just play into your strengths, and the better you get at them, the confidence will come.
Yeah, I was used to seeing animals every day, so
Yeah. Well, I
not
don't
seeing
mind.
them that often anymore is, yeah.
Yeah, I don't mind making brief stops, but let's try not to stop at every animal we see, please. We do have a timetable that we have to meet to be there. So I don't mind stopping some, but let's just not make it a regular thing. At least until we get really close and we know we got more than enough time, then we can have time to slow down more.
I will
As
try.
Tal's going like crazy behind me there.
Why is Tao barking?
Just like going up and down like.
So he's digging the conversation. It's like, yeah, all right.
Yeah, and she just then quickly stands back up, and I'm sorry for keeping you awake. And
No problem. Any progress with Arena? I mean, she seemed to be coming around anymore yet?
well, the last thing I sensed from her was playfulness, and I think she was playing outside in the rain. So I guess she's good.
I'll take that as a good sign. Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
All right. Well, yeah, no problem. Anytime you want to talk, just let me know. Always available. Not going very far.
Yeah, it's same for you too.
All right. Well, have a good night. I'll see you in the morning.
You too. Bye.
Bye.
Alright, Baltari, you go back to your room.
Yes.
Alright, then we're gonna end this stream here. Seems like a good place. Everyone's asleep.
Yeah, Trevor for the second time now.
You can have 2 hours
Yeah,
without
you
sleep
could.
and still get your long rest,
Yeah, I know. It's technically only 6. I know. Yeah, if it's undisturbed. Yeah.
The conversation just lasted 10 minutes.
I know. But yeah, it's just like, the second you fall asleep and then somebody's.
Yeah,
They
probably.
could not even asleep like 2 minutes, and it's just like,
Wait,
what?
Alright.
Like
So-
audience is about to be here, right in the
gotta go.
stream.
Alright, so like Tobiashi just said, we have to go. So
Yep.
see you
All
everyone.
Alright, guys,
Have
thanks
a
for
good night.
watching.
All right.
Bye.
Watch again
See you
next
All
week.
right.
next Wednesday. Bye.